Hey! Before you scroll past this one, I need you to stay with me for just a second, because if you are someone who relies on Social Security, SNAP benefits, SSI, or you've been waiting on any kind of financial relief, what is happening right now in the first week of March could directly affect your household. We're talking stimulus checks, a massive economic report dropping next Friday, a potential $2,000 payment the president has been talking about, and a major announcement that a lot of people have absolutely no idea is coming. I've been getting hundreds of messages in my inbox every single day, people asking me, when is stimulus coming? What's the amount? Who qualifies? And today, I'm going to break all of it down for you. Plain English, no fluff, no filler. But I also need you to understand the bigger picture happening behind the scenes, because that is what actually determines whether this money flows out to people like you and me. So stick with me. This one matters. For those of you who are new here, my name is Tony, and this channel, Retirees Benefits, exists for one reason: to make sure that people who are struggling financially actually know what help is available to them. We've been doing this for years. We've helped millions of people find benefits they didn't even know they qualified for. And listen, I'm not a politician, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just someone who has been in hard spots before, who knows what it feels like to sit at the kitchen table wondering how you're going to make things stretch to the end of the month. That's who I make these videos for. So if that's you today, you're in exactly the right place. Here's the one thing I need you to understand before we get into any specific numbers or payments, and I've been saying this for a while now. You cannot look at stimulus in a vacuum. There is always a bigger picture happening behind the scenes, and that bigger picture determines whether relief money actually makes it out to people like us and me. And right now, that bigger picture is the economy. It always comes back to the economy. Almost every single time we've seen stimulus get approved and distributed in this country, it was because the economy was in a rough spot and Washington needed to respond. That's just how this system works. So before we talk dollars and cents, we need to talk about what the economy is telling us right now, because the signals are serious. Which brings me to what I believe is one of the most important reports we are going to see this entire year, and it is dropping next Friday, March 6th. That's when the Bureau of Labor Statistics releases the February non-farm payroll numbers, the jobs report, the labor market data. Call it whatever you want. This thing drops on the first Friday of every single month, and it is probably the single most watched economic report in the entire country. The Fed chairman watches it, the president watches it, Congress watches it. Every economist, every market analyst, every policymaker has their eyes on this number because it is the clearest real-time snapshot we have of where the economy actually stands. And here's why this particular report matters so much right now. The last several months of job data, honestly, not great. The numbers have been coming in weaker and weaker. And on top of that, the revisions, when they go back and update the prior month's numbers, they keep getting revised downward too. So it's not just bad data in the moment, it's getting worse when they look back at it. That is a double signal right there that something is genuinely wrong with the labor market. Some analysts and forecasters are now projecting that the unemployment rate could climb to around 5.7% by the middle of this year. And I want you to hear that number clearly. If that actually happens, that would be alarming. That is the kind of level that historically has the government scrambling. Emergency meetings, fast-tracked packages. People in Washington start moving fast when unemployment hits numbers like that because they know the pressure that's building. And I want to be really clear here because I don't want anyone to misunderstand what I'm saying. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to see people lose their jobs. That is a genuine hardship. It is painful. I take that seriously, and so should every person in Washington. But from an economic reality standpoint, rising unemployment is historically, every single time, what triggers lawmakers to start talking seriously about getting money out to the people. That is just the truth of how this system operates. Now here's something a lot of people aren't saying out loud, but I'm going to say it because you deserve the full picture. A lot of economists, analysts, and market watchers are already suggesting that we might actually be in a recession right now, not heading toward one, already in one. Now, technically, a recession won't be officially confirmed until several months after it started. That's just how the process works. The National Bureau of Economic Research usually takes about 6 months before they make it official, so we won't know for certain for a while, but the signals we're seeing, they are not great. And here's what history tells us about recessions in America. Every single time we've gone into one, the government responds with money, a lot of money. In 2020 and 2021 alone, they pumped roughly $6 trillion. $6 trillion. And if we go into another serious downturn, especially given the level of national debt we're already carrying, the scale of what might be needed to respond could make 2020 look small by comparison. That is not me being dramatic. That is just the math of where we are as a country right now. So here's the core question driving all of the conversations happening in Washington right now. Who is going to bear the weight of the budget cuts, and who is going to get some relief? There are proposals on the table, some moving fast, that would reshape how millions of Americans receive their monthly benefits. At the same time, there are targeted payments and relief measures being discussed that could put real money directly into people's hands. I'm going to walk you through both sides, because the goal of this video isn't to scare you, it's to prepare you. Knowledge is the only real power we have in situations like this.
Let me call out the groups that need to be paying the closest attention right now. Social Security and SSI recipients. If you receive Supplemental Income Security or Social Security Disability, changes to payment schedules and eligibility reviews are actively being discussed in Congress as part of broader budget reconciliation talks. Nothing is finalized yet, but the direction of these conversations matters, and you need to be watching closely. SNAP recipients, moms especially, I need you to hear this. Families with children who depend on SNAP are among the most vulnerable in the current budget debate. There are proposals circulating that would shift more of the cost of SNAP down to individual states, and depending on where you live, that could eventually mean reduced benefits or tighter eligibility requirements. Veterans. There are veteran-specific payment updates coming through the VA this month that could affect disability compensation. If you haven't logged into your VA account recently, please do that this week. The unemployed and underemployed. And here's something important. With unemployment trending upward, you may actually find that updated income thresholds on several federal programs this month have expanded your eligibility. That is real good news we'll get to. Seniors on fixed income. With inflation still chewing through grocery budgets and utility bills, there are localized relief programs activating in March specifically for seniors. I'll tell you exactly where to look. Okay, specifics. Let's talk about the two separate payment conversations happening right now, because I want to keep these very clear in your mind, because they are not the same thing. First, the $2,000 tariff dividend. The president has been discussing the idea of a payment, kind of like a profit-sharing or dividend situation, funded through tariff revenue. This is not traditional economic stimulus. It's a different mechanism entirely. It's not tied to a recession or a jobs crisis. It's more of a direct distribution concept if it moves forward politically. It is still very much in the discussion phase, but it is a real conversation happening at the highest levels, and you deserve to know about it. Second, traditional economic stimulus. When we talk about checks sent out specifically to get money flowing through the economy during a downturn, that is always tied to where the economy stands. And as I just walked you through, the indicators we're watching right now are pointing in a direction that could make that conversation very real, very fast. If next Friday's jobs report comes in weak again, and especially if unemployment ticks up significantly, that becomes yet another data point that makes it harder for Washington to ignore the pressure to act. On top of those two conversations, there's also the IRS recovery rebate credit situation, which is money you may already be owed. The IRS has confirmed that approximately 1 million taxpayers who filed 2021 returns but didn't claim the recovery rebate credit will be receiving automatic payments, some up to $1,400 per person. These go out without you needing to do anything, but only if you filed your 2021 taxes. If you didn't file, you may still be able to claim this. The deadline to file a 2021 return is April 15, 2025, and you can do it free through IRS Free File. Link is in the description. For a family of 4, we could be talking $5,600. Do not leave that on the table. I promised you good news, and I mean it. The 2.5% COLA increase that went into effect in January is real and it is consistent. Social Security recipients are seeing that bump in their monthly payments right now. The child tax credit conversation is gaining bipartisan momentum in Congress, with specific focus on expanding it for the lowest income households, the ones who currently don't earn enough to claim the full credit. Still in motion, but moving in the right direction. And LI-HEAP, the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, is currently in peak funding season. March is one of the best months to apply because states are actively distributing funds. Don't wait for a shutoff notice. Apply now, even if you think you might not qualify. Eligibility was quietly expanded in several states. 3 things. That's all I'm asking. 1. Watch for the March 6th jobs report. I'm going to be covering it the moment it drops and breaking it all down for you in plain English. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it, because that report is going to tell us a lot about how fast things move from here. 2. If you did not file your 2021 federal tax return, go to irs.gov and look up Free File. April 15th is the hard cutoff. That could be $1,400 or more per person. 3. Call 211. That number connects you to local assistance programs for energy, food, rent, and more. Save it in your phone right now. And spend 10 minutes on benefitscheckup.org doing a free benefits screening. It works for families, individuals, veterans, seniors, everyone. Listen, things are moving fast right now, and I know it can feel like the system is impossible to navigate and nobody's in your corner. But that is exactly why this community exists. Every single day, I am here digging through the noise so that you don't have to do it alone. Next Friday's jobs report is going to be a turning point one way or another, and I'm going to be here to break it down the second it drops. You need to know what those numbers mean for your household, and I'm going to make sure you do. If this video helped you, please subscribe and hit that bell, and share this with someone who needs it, a mom, a veteran, a neighbor, a grandparent. That one share could genuinely change someone's situation. I'll see you Friday. You've got this.